like to do is to spend a minute to explain the core approach of the project. So, as I said earlier, the core thing we're trying to do is to have you shift a conversation about racism with a skeptic from a battle of opinions to an exchange of personal opinions, personal experiences, to an exchange of personal stories and anecdotes. How do you do that? 4 steps. Reflect, ask, connect, expand. The reflect part has 2 different aspects. There's reflecting even before you get into the conversation. There's getting ready for the conversation. And that means thinking about what do you have to do to be in a good empathetic listening mode. So we're going to spend a little time on that in a few minutes. What is useful for you to do to be in empathetic listening mode? You heard my man say it's important to show empathy. You have to be in a stance of empathetic listening. There's different things for different people. In addition, you want to get your stories together, anecdotes together. That's well before you have the conversation. So that's the pre-reflect. The reflect in the moment is this. Somebody says something racially problematic that might make you mad, it might make you want to attack, but you've learned a different method. Now some people can take one breath and be ready to do that. Other people need to say, excuse me, I need to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back to talk about that, right? And they leave and collect themselves and get their stories together, remember what they practiced, and then come back and re-engage that, right? So there's 2 aspects of reflect. Okay. Ask. Not unlike what my man talked about, what's important to do is to ask a question, not just about what their beliefs are. You might start with that, but what you want to get to is their experience behind the belief. Some experience that happened to them either long ago or recently that animates their belief. You want to get them telling stories, not just rephrasing their beliefs. Oh, that's interesting. Tell me, what happened? Tell me an experience they had that showed you that was true. And you're trying to get them to talk about their experiences, not just saying their beliefs again. Okay, but you have to be in an empathetic listening mode to ask that and to receive that in a way that makes them feel heard. Connect. This is often the hardest part for allies because y'all, understandably, want to fight people and tell them they're wrong, as opposed to find something within what they said that will resonate with them. You're trying to show some level of alignment with them. Now, what that might mean is that you find some little piece of their point, their perspective, that you can agree with. So, if they said, people call you stop complaining about the police treatment because everybody knows if you just act right, the police treat you well. Embedded within that is the idea there are good cops out there. Embedded within that is the idea that your behavior during a cop encounter affects the cop. Is that true? Of course it's true. You can just tell a story about how that is true and get them nodding their head. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I know. You haven't agreed with what they said. You've agreed with something embedded within what they said. This might go to a whole different level. If you looked at the world and the situation like they used to, you might be able to go whole hog with it. You know, the way, how you looking at that? I used to look at things just like that. Now don't add, I was a fool and so were you. If you can bring some empathy to how you used to believe, that is very powerful. I know what you're talking about. Let me tell you about how I was raised and how I thought. Pause. Right? So, that's connection. Then expand. That is when you tell some personal anecdote or secondhand anecdote that conveys you think race and racism are real and matter. Now, just to be clear, I think that y'all are in a superior intellectual position than people who think racism never matters. Because you think that racism matters sometimes. You don't think that racism matters in every moment of every encounter. You think it matters a whole lot of the time. So for somebody who believes that it never matters, you can tell a story about sometime it didn't matter before you tell them a story about sometime it did matter, right? But you have to be patient, you have to be strategic, and you need to have your stories together. So the idea is that you manage this conversation away from a conversation about beliefs to a conversation about experience. You are shifting it from a battle about opinion to a dialogic journey about how the world works, and we're going to start out with our own personal experience. You've made it collaborative, just like my man was talking about. So that's the basic method.